Caesar comes on screen, fucking wet myself, because I always just think, how did this guy, how did he get employed?
How did he fit in the hallway?
So yeah, that's for me all the
I
time.
just love watching your fights and you trying to use your sword all the time. It's so funny. The double.
You know what? I actually had one in when we were in the palace at Crash's crib, and I had to walk in on a scene with Todd, a couple of ladies, and eating. It was just a bit of banter. And we had blocked it, but the extras weren't there at the time. So then we did, the first run was on tape. TJ was like, yeah, let's do it, let's go. So I walked through the corridor, go around the corner into the door. Didn't really know because they had changed the blocking a bit. Todd's there completely naked with two completely naked women.
Were they rolling? Was that on
grapes to eat. And I stood there, completely forgot my line. I walked straight out, and I said, what the fuck is going on? I said, can you tell Todd that we're about to shoot? What's he doing with his
Could costume, instead of giving him grapes, could costume get him some clothes? Or?
Every time we did, like most times Christian and I did a scene, because we were mates, like, and we have to hate each other, it's called corpsing, whenever you laugh on set and at each other. There were so many moments where we had to pull it together, because I'm looking at, and you got to also remember, like, we're hanging out outside and, you know, just chilling on the weekend.
Texting and stuff.
What?
Texting and whatever.
Yeah, texting and shit, one better. And then, you know, we come to set, we put armour on, and I've got to pretend I'm Caesar, and he's pretending he's Tiberius. And sometimes you just catch yourself going, the fuck are we doing, bro? There's heaps of crew around, we've got swords that are rubber, pretending like we're attacking each other, and you just clock it for a second, just go, this is ludicrous. Like, it's dope, it's insane, but there's obviously also a bit of, I don't know, you catch yourself and you think this is your career, like you just put a fake plastic leather suit on and pretend that you're some big warlord from 2,000 years ago, and then you have to pretend I'm doing that in front of Christian.
There's something I want to tell you about acting. That's
the whole job, mate. I do it all the time with every role. I'll catch myself going, what is this job that you're doing?
Best moment ever though, I'm talking about Barry. In like one of the last scenes where we're happy, but just before the big battle, I have to do a bunch of it's before episode 8, and like Agron's about to go away, with Chris is about to go away, all this stuff, spoiler alert. A bunch of stuff happens, and then like every time I had to walk in, and there's like this big orgy going on, because it's Spartacus, this is what you do, and it's like, all I can remember as I was walking in sternly to be like, I've got to have a chat to Crixus, we have to talk about something. And it's just seeing Barry's face in a pool of naked women. Lugo has never been so happy. Missing a tooth, just having a great time. Missing his little tooth. Oh my God, I've never seen a happier human being. Great moment. It's wonderful.
I spent 9 months crying.
You did, didn't you?
I really did.
You did.
And one episode where she's like, oh, she's happy now, everything goes to shit.
Good times.
Nice. Oh yeah.
This is for Sheena.
Yeah.
First of all, I love when you stop Tiberius. Sorry. For me, it was excellent. And how was it for you work with these clowns?
It was really shit. Like, I was trying to be serious the whole time. It was great. It was awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. I only got to work with you a little tiny bit.
No, tiny bit.
I just got to die with you.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Was special.
Yeah, it was.
I get to throw you against a wall, make you cry more.
Yeah, more
That's good
crying.
times. Yeah. Cry, damn it! You're crying hard enough, you know? Cry harder.
Yeah.
Cry.
Actually, the same.
Good enough.
Yeah. Oh, and the baby.
Oh yeah, that baby was
baby.
terrifying. Okay, if you ever want to throw up, like a lot, put cream cheese and jelly.
jam. Yeah.
Jelly in this country,
Yeah,
whatever,
sorry.
don't worry about it. And put it under like hot lights for a solid few hours.
And then put it on a newborn.
And then put it on a newborn child. Which, okay, so you've seen the show, I hope, maybe. If you're covered in armour that's like razor sharp, don't handle a newborn child. that's like pretending to come out of a lady part, and also have never held children really before. So then, yeah, you're like,
I was like, here's
have a child. I'm like, then walk outside the set and watch the parents watching the monitor going, "Are you killing my child?" And I'm like, hey, I'm gonna go and do that another 15 times. Hope your child lives. No pressure. And then throw up because of the hot. I don't really do like that smell will live long in the memory.
My costume smelled like that for
Ah.
the rest of shooting.
Ah.
I could still smell it. There was one dress that was just like, I was just like, that's what that is.
That's the worst thing ever.
Yes.
Yes.
In War of the Damned, with the drama going on between both you, Todd, and Christian, I loved you guys were trying to one up each other. But when Pompey's emissaries came, but they were actually disguised as Spartacus' men, were you aware?
Booyah! Surprise! Spartacus surprise!
Yeah, were you aware of that? Because it kind of alluded later on in that episode that
Yeah.
you were.
Yeah.
Then
No, obviously
it's
not.
also like maybe.
Yeah, I was aware. I was suspicious, basically, and then once... That's why they had that shot of me where, like, you're clocking what's going on, and there's just a couple of moments where I'm watching, but it's registering that something's not quite up here, but I don't say anything because I know it's going to put him in danger. So yeah, that was an interesting scene too, because we had to clock it enough just to give away for me, and then I had the discussion with Crassus, and he's like, well, I'm going to send you instead. So it kind of starts to unravel and backfire a little bit, because I also have I had like a, see ya. I had like a
Help me, I'll help you out, Todd. What are you going
respect
for?
thing going on with whatever.
A rivalry?
Crassus. No,
Oh,
no,
like,
respect. Yeah,
cool.
It starts with R.
Good word. Yeah.
So we obviously.
It was a tough word to find out.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you know, it was hard for me to be going behind Crassus' back, but obviously, yeah, there's those few moments they cut to where I'm watching it and you can just tell there's something going on. But yeah, I was aware of it and I kind of let it play out. Yeah.
No, flying off that
Especially
horse.
gets the
What's
hand
up?
up with the cutest daughter ever. Look at that face.
Hey, sweetheart.
Yes.
Other than being happy that you got the job, what were you thinking when you got it over?
That's
actually
a
quite-
question for Todd. I'm going to sign this.
That's actually quite a funny one. I'll never forget it because I was at lunch in my hometown in Newcastle, in Australia, with my mum.
Yes, I've come from Newey.
Yeah, Newey. So I was having lunch with mum and dad, and I had a phone call from my manager, and he screws with me all the time because I had only auditioned once through a tape and sent it overseas from Sydney, and obviously got to LA to the producers, and you know, usually go through more process. So I thought I was just calling. He's like, "Hey man, how you doing?" I was like, "Oh, cool, just with my family." He's like, "Oh, okay, cool. How'd the audition go?" I was like, "Oh, yeah, it actually felt pretty good. Like the only problem is I've been up till like 4 a.m. the night before. Sorry, it'll go on for a little bit. I witnessed an assault behind the house that I was staying at. This young woman was getting like kicked by this dude. We ran out with shovels to stop him. He took off. Cops came.
Shovels?
Yeah. He was like 6'8". I was like, I'm not gonna fight him unless I have a shovel. So 3 of us ran outside,
We're from
literally.
Australia. We don't have guns. We have shovels. That's no defense for us.
There's no lie. Cops came. They obviously had to question all of us, work it out. We were looking after the girl. And they wanted to work out whether they're going to press charges, what he looked like, blah, blah, blah. I went to bed at 4 a.m., didn't really look at the script, woke up at 8:30 for my audition, went in, taped it, didn't really know my lines. Told them in the thing, and I was like, I'm not really super prepped. She's like, it's okay, we'll put it down. It's like, cool. So then I got a call the next day. I was like, there's no way. So he just, you know, started it really casually, and then he finished the sentence, and he's like, so you want to move to New Zealand? And I was like, what? He's like, you got Caesar.
Wait, you got it in a day?
Yeah. Me and my crew, yeah, but you're Spartacus, bro. You're carrying it. I just had to rock up.
Julius Caesar. Who's he?
So that as I said, it was super rare. So I just wasn't expecting it either. And I lost it. My mum started crying. My dad was there. It was awesome. Had this beautiful moment. Then I had to drive to Sydney. I was just about to leave. And I'll never forget getting in the car and I was just pumped. Like, yes, I'm playing Caesar. And then I started driving and I'm like, I'm about to play one of the most famous people in the history of the human race. And I was instantly terrified. Like, to the point where on my first day shooting that scene, your favourite scene, my first entrance, when the camera pushes in on me, I was like almost vomiting because I was so nervous. Like, I was terrified because I knew that people would think of Caesar and then have a particular preconceived idea of how he should appear.
Wait, you thought that vomiting was the choice to go?
Yeah. Caesar.
That's the Caesar I know.
So it was a mix, it was strange. Like, once I'd shot a couple of days, I felt better, but I felt a lot of pressure to have this presence, because, you know, he has to have a presence about him. So that was my biggest fear with it. But obviously, you know, super honoured as well.
That's what I figured. I figured you were nervous. But
You're going to get the congratulations, you asked Todd a question card.
Thank you, congratulations. Sell that shit. Yes, question. Blue top.
So just continuing on what you just stated, Liam, how much pressure was on you stepping into the show?
Oh, Joe. Tell them about your process.
It was actually, it's funny, it was kind of different because, yeah, there was a bit of pressure. First of all, it's the worst thing ever. No actor wants to start their career that way. But yeah, so like, I'd not really done anything. Like, I've got a credit for the Pacific. I don't think I'm in it. Like, you know, and so I was used to like maybe going out for the occasional commercial or maybe a tiny role in something. And so this thing comes up, and at the start, I'm like, well, I'll do it. They won't care. All I ever hoped for was to get like someone ringing up, going, obviously not getting it, but they actually thought it was good. That was great. That would have been amazing. And so, my 5-month process. I mean, the entire time I was like, well, I mean, they'll wake up eventually and go, who is he? Nobody knows who he is. Why would we give him this big role? And so I was kind of just like training and just being available. And then one day in that way it's similar, they rang up and they were like, you've got the job one day. And I was like, oh my God, that's amazing. And then, I'm replacing like this amazing, because I love the show, I love season 1. And so I was like, I'm replacing this guy who I think is amazing and have to try and do justice to the legacy that he's created on this incredible show that's super successful. You know, but I worked so hard. So for me, all I could do was try and capture the spirit that he got that he made Spartacus have. If I could capture even a bit of that, then I was like, okay, the show can continue. If I was going to copy him, that wouldn't have really worked. I think that would have been a poor facsimile. But so I worked so, I've never worked harder in my life at anything ever by a mile. So I worked, I actually felt ready for this challenge. I'm like, I'm going to do this for Andy. I'm going to like make this work. I've trained, I've practiced, I've worked for months at this. I'm ready. And that first day was the most eye-opening experience. So I've like done acting classes where they're like, hey, have 2 weeks to learn this scene, and you know, and I hadn't had much on-set experience either. So and suddenly I was like in my trailer, psyching myself up, ready in costume, feeling like.
Who was your first scene with?
It was with Mono. Mono and Katrina, and and it was like I was walking to set confident. And it was just now it's kind of second nature, but it was like a dialogue coach is like, you comfortable with the dialogue? I'm like, I'm pretty good with like an English thing, and he's like, did you make sure you say this, this, and this? I'm like,
fuck off.
Okay, dude. And then like I would get into set, and they're like, all right, Liam, you need to do this, this, and this, and I think about this, and the director would come up, all right, in this scene we're going to do this. Mine would come up, I need this and this in this scene. Katrina would come up and say, we need to do this and this in this scene. And I was like, holy crap, I didn't know what to say anymore. You know, like you get better ultimately at owning your character, and I feel like my next season was a lot better because I was better at going, you know, and because I felt like I had so much to like owe Andy. It certainly by no sense was it my role. Like I was like, I'm doing this to try and make it work for Andy, kind of thing. And so when people were like, do this and this, I was like, okay, if that's, well, yep, all right, sure. Yeah, if that's going to help this show be good, I want to be good. I want to do this right. And so by the second season, I was better at going, you know what, I am Spartacus now. I can be Spartacus, and I will choose my choices and say no when I have to say no, and say yes when I have to say yes, and things like that. But yeah, it was, pressure-wise, I was surprised at how little pressure I felt because I never thought I'd get it. And when I did get it, it was, I tried to turn that pressure into like hope. Like I just want to honor this legacy, and rather than be, because if I really thought about what I was doing, I wouldn't have even been able to turn up to work. Like it was just so horrible. Like it was so sad what was happening, the reality of it. But to sort of go, well, no, you know what, I'm gonna make this. I'm gonna do this for him. I'm gonna make the show work for everyone that loves it. That was all I could think about. Hopefully, I guess people kept watching it, so that worked out enough.
No, that was a good story. I also want to take a little bit of credit to Liam.
Yeah.
It was such a long process for Liam, and at one point they flew like a few of the people over, and they had to spend a couple of days